If you think modern football belongs only to the giants, to the super clubs with global brands and bottomless budgets, then pause for a moment. I want to show you something different. I want to show you how a small club from the provincial city of Bergamo rose from relative obscurity to shake the very foundations of European football, break goal-scoring records, and ultimately, their rise wasn't fueled by a state-sponsored takeover or a billionaire's vanity project. It wasn't built on a worldwide marketing strategy. There were no nine-figure transfers or superstar signings. Instead, it was forged in the heart of Lombardy, built on pure grit, revolutionary ideas, and an unbreakable bond with a city that refused to let them fail. This is the story of Atalanta. This is the story of how the underdog learned to roar. From this corner of Italy, a story of pure defiance. They didn't just punch above their weight, they redefined the fight itself. They were a club built, not bought. Stay with me, because this isn't just about tactics and trophies. It's about passion, identity, and why the entire footballing world fell in love with La Dea, the goddess. For most of their 100-year history, they were a classic provincial side, respected but never feared. They were the quintessential yo-yo club, constantly bouncing between Italy's top two divisions. Survival was the goal, stability was the dream. But then, in 2016, something fundamental changed. A new philosophy, a new culture, took root in the club's very soul. They rejected the idea of a billionaire shortcut. They would build their own future, brick by brick. They would develop their own talent, player by player. And they would outthink their richer rivals, idea by idea. They chose to invest not in glamour, but in substance. They invested in what they could control. They poured resources into their famed youth academy, Zingonia, turning it into a production line of elite talent. They perfected their scouting network, unearthing undervalued gems that others overlooked. And most importantly, they invested in their identity, a style of football that was relentless, ferociously attacking, and physically demanding. This was no longer about cautious survival. This was a bold statement of intent to compete, to entertain, to score nearly 100 league goals in a single season. The architect of dreams. For Atalanta, that leader was Gian Piero Gasperini, a manager forged in the fires of Serie A, known for his demanding style at clubs like Genoa, but who had also endured a high-profile failure at Inter Milan. His appointment in 2016 was a calculated risk for a club fighting to survive. At the time, Atalanta were perennial relegation battlers, a club whose primary ambition was simply to stay in Italy's top flight. No one, not even the most optimistic fan, could have predicted the seismic shift that was about to unfold. Gasperini is more than a coach. He is a philosopher of football, a man with an unwavering belief in his radical system. The core tenets: high-intensity pressing, aggressive man-to-man marking all over the pitch, and fluid, almost chaotic, attacking interchanges. It's a system built on triggers. When one player presses, the entire team follows in a coordinated swarm, aiming to overwhelm the opposition and win the ball in dangerous areas. It's physically exhausting, mentally demanding, but the rewards are spectacular. His tactical blueprint is unique. Wingbacks are deployed as auxiliary wingers. Central defenders are given license to surge forward, becoming surprise attackers. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy that creates numerical superiority and total unpredictability. He didn't just build a team, he transformed players. Under his guidance, good footballers became a formidable unit. Papu Gomez evolved from a talented winger into one of Europe's premier playmakers. Robin Gosens, an unheralded signing, was molded into a world-class wingback. But the revolution wasn't immediate. The start of his tenure was a disaster. 4 losses in the first 5 games. The demanding system wasn't clicking. Rumors swirled that he was facing the sack. Lesser clubs would have panicked, but the Atalanta hierarchy held their nerve. they believed in the process. A crucial victory against Napoli, powered by Academy graduates, flipped the season on its head. From that moment, they were unstoppable. They finished in a historic 4th place, qualifying for Europe for the first time in 26 years. Gian Piero Gasperini was no longer just a coach. He was the architect of modern Atalanta, the factory of talent. In a world of footballing giants with bottomless pockets, Atalanta found a different path to success. A path that starts right in their own backyard. The heart of this operation is the Bortolotti Sports Center in Zingonia, a state-of-the-art facility widely regarded as one of the best youth academies in Italy, and indeed, across Europe. This isn't just a training ground, it's the club's lifeblood, a pillar of a remarkably sustainable model. The philosophy is simple but powerful. Develop talent to save millions in transfer fees, and sell prized assets to reinvest and strengthen the entire club. It all begins with an extensive regional scouting network, a web of eyes and ears covering Lombardy and beyond, tasked with one mission: find the most talented local kids. But they look for more than just raw technical skill. As one club insider put it, they scout for character, a relentless work ethic, and an insatiable hunger to learn. Once identified, these players are brought into an environment designed to nurture them. From the youngest age groups, they learn the Atalanta way, a demanding, high-intensity style of football. This ensures that by the time they reach the senior squad, they are not just technically proficient, but mentally and physically prepared for the rigors of Gasperini's demanding system. The results speak for themselves. The list of graduates is a who's who of modern talent. Dejan Kulusevski, Alessandro Bastoni, Frank Kessié, Roberto Gagliardini. These players were sold for significant sums, generating over 100 million euros in profit that was poured directly back into the club, funding new signings and infrastructure. It's a virtuous cycle that the fans deeply understand and appreciate. Because when a Bergamo native like Matteo Ruggeri steps onto the pitch, he doesn't just represent the club, he represents an entire community's belief in its own. A city's heartbeat. Club and city are inextricable. Two parts, one identity, black and blue. Everywhere you look. The stadium is the city's living room, where families gather, share joy, and despair. In early 2020, tragedy struck Bergamo. The pandemic ravaged the city. Images that shocked the world. Football became something more, a symbol of hope and resilience. Small lights in deep darkness. Each victory, an act of defiance. They carried Bergamo onto the pitch. For doctors, for nurses, for families. The bond became unbreakable, the heartbeat of the club. The European stage, a first Champions League in 112 years, 2019, a monumental achievement. Years of planning, brilliantly executed. Europe was unconvinced. 3 games, 0 points, any other team crumbles. Atalanta doubled down on principles. Belief flickered, momentum built, Shakhtar away. Destiny night, against all odds, delivered. First ever to qualify after losing first 3. A breathtaking round of 16, 8-4 aggregate. Debutants turned disruptors. Europe heard the roar. The 8 minutes that shook the world. Single-leg quarter-final. Paris Saint-Germain, ultimate mismatch, on paper. Global superstars everywhere. But Atalanta refused to bow. 27th minute, Pasalic, top corner. Heart, discipline, Sportiello's hands of steel. An entire city held its breath. Greatness within reach. 90th minute, the dagger. Exhaustion, emotion, and then 92-49, 2-1. In 8 minutes, the dream died. But the 89 before were glorious. The legacy of La Dea, a lesson in margins, respect earned across Europe. A team built on spirit and identity can face immense wealth. A blueprint for ambitious underdogs. Consistency made them feared. Global recognition, local pride, growth made concrete. In 2024, Ultimate Glory, UEFA Europa League champions. Stunning and undefeated powerhouse. The project fulfilled. Legacy, cemented, community, resilience, belief. From Bergamo's small streets to Europe's summit, Atalanta proves dreams endure.
The vault's closing. Subscribe now.